Hey, it's Dave Brown here, host of Now with Dave Brown on AMI. Check out this latest highlight from the show.
The Neil Squire Society is an organization dedicated to improving the lives of folks living with disabilities. Their slated programs and services focus on 4 key areas: innovation, digital literacy, employment, and assistive technology. And one of those programs that are dedicated to tackling assistive technology is Makers Making Change. Chad Leaman is the Director of Innovation with the Neil Squire Society and joins now to discuss the program further. Good morning, Chad.
Morning, Alex. Nice to see you this morning. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty well. How are you doing?
Well, doing good, doing good. Thanks for having me on the show.
Oh, thank you so much for being here. So I gave a brief introduction off the top, but what can you tell me about the Makers Making Change program?
Sure. Makers Making Change is a program that's a new way to get people with disabilities the assistive technology they need. We host a library of assistive technology devices that are all open source. So what that means is, you know how you go to like IKEA and you can build your own bed, or Lego, you can build your own sort of piece. We sort of take the same sort of model to assistive technology, where we describe how to make a certain device. We have the files there from the instructions to build it. Sometimes assembly videos, the files for if there's 3D printed parts or code. So it's sort of a DIY approach to assistive technology. And because it's open source, it's a very affordable for people to make, and we really rely on a community of volunteers to help fabricate many of these devices from our library for the community. We've been building this for, over the last 6 years now, and we have over 215 different devices in the library, and we really use sort of crowdsourcing to both help build our library devices as well as create the devices for people in the community, help fabricate them.
And so why did you want to have that library available as open source so anyone could access it?
Yeah, I would say there's 3 major benefits to this model. One is affordability. As many people tell you, many assistive devices can cost a lot of money. For example, I have here on my desk, or on my kitchen table here, an assistive switch. So switch access is used by a lot of people with significant physical disabilities. If you buy a commercial assistive switch, you can easily spend $100. This one is 3D printed. So the base and the top are 3D printed. There's one electronic part in there. This is about $5 to $6 worth of parts to 3D printed to make. So you can make them much more affordable. So affordability is a big piece. Number 2 is the customizability. Do you know how many companies sell pink assistive switches? 0, but some people like pink. So you can print in any sort of color of filament of plastic that you can think of. So you really have the ability to sort of customize the person. Now that may just be aesthetics, but that also may be those small little details or things that make something accessible to somebody. Disability is a spectrum. There's going to be no one device that fits for everybody. So you can do a lot of sort of customization for people. We've even done switches where we just put in like a logo on it that really motivates a kid. We had one kid we're working with that really liked flamingos. So we put a pink flamingo on his switch. He was she was very motivated to push that button afterwards. So that sort of
Chad,
ability sort of...
Sorry to interrupt you. Could you just describe physically the switch for our folks at home who may not be able to see it? So it's a round device. It's with a button on top, probably about like 2 inches in diameter. Is that correct?
It's about 3 inches across. And this is basically like an alternative way to turn something on or off to give communication. Or they're used sometimes with augmentative communication and also with childhood development. So yeah, it's just a round button that you sort of push. You push it, it is on. You let go, it goes off. And you can mount it on mounting brackets, walls, or just sort of straight flat on the desk. So you think like a video game controller, maybe you're going to push a button to jump. This is just an alternative button to give someone different access.
Phenomenal. And so you offer a lot of different assistive devices like the switch that you just demonstrated for us, but you also are doing quite a bit in adapting toys for folks. So what can you tell me about the program's adapting toys?
Yeah, over our time working with a number of occupational therapists and early childhood development staff, speech language pathologists, they do a lot of work, especially with young kids 5 and under, around sort of teaching cause and effect. So you think of kids with very significant disabilities, they may not be moving, they may not be speaking. So they're really trying to help sort of gauge the sort of cognitive ability of the child and help them sort of learn cause and effect in pieces. So many toys, they have a switch or something you turn on. So this is just a standard here. What I have is just a standard sort of light up toy. It normally has an on-off switch in the bottom where I can turn it on and off. So if I plug in my assistive switch in the back, what it is with this little camera here. You see this little gray jack there. It's the same size as what used to be in your iPhone, like a headphone jack. It's a 3.5 millimeter jack. So what we basically do is we teach people to make a parallel circuit. So you're talking about that engineering camp you're going to run there. We do a lot of work with youth and kids, teaching circuit design and how to basically make a parallel circuit. So I can plug this in here and I can use the switch. I press the switch and my toy turns on. So toys may be usually sort of three different sort of sensory areas. Maybe they provide light, they provide sound, or they provide some sort of sensory feedback. So maybe it's like a bubble blower that blows bubbles, they trigger the switch. And then again, they can move the switch now, instead of like the little on up on this piece, to where it works for the kids. That may be gross motor, they're trying to target the button, then maybe they're tilting their head, using their knee. We've over 30 different switches in our library. So really sort of be able to have the ability to digitize the intent of the person. So they may be able to lift a finger, but that finger may trigger something. You can think of, a very famous switch user, Stephen Hawking. He used the switch to sort of trigger his speech and build things out. So it really started taking that intent of the person, digitizing it, and moving the ability to sort of control that device to where they're functionally capable to. Switch access is really important, sort of teaching that cause and effect, but also for people that are nonverbal, that is often used as input to like augmentative communication devices. So using switches sort of work through and build speech. So it's an important bit of play, important bit of child development, and also really important for communication for people.
And so, Chad, we are coming up to the back end of the show, but I want to give some time to kind of highlight the fact that, Makers Making Change has a number of different pop-up events that happen throughout the country. Can you talk a bit about why this approach is taken to have these different events throughout the country that folks from the different communities can come out and get involved in, and what they can do at these events?
Yeah, we call these events build-a-thons. So like the switches I have here, many of them are built by the community members. We have hosted, since Makers Making Change has started, over 400 different events where people will come together and they'll build one or more devices from our library. So we had a big campaign last year called Hacking for the Holidays, where we were adapting toys and building switches, and those went out to child care centers, rehab hospitals all across Canada, and was really successful. So we're going to launch that again here this September. Going up to December, Hacking for the Holidays. We're hoping to host over 100 events across Canada, across all 10 provinces, teaching people how to solder, teaching people how to put together some of these 3D printed devices, teaching people how to adapt these toys, and then they'll be donated out to the community. So if people are interested in getting involved, you can visit makersmakingchange.com. We just relaunched the website here last week. So you can see some of the upcoming events, and you can get in touch if you're interested in hosting it. For us, a lot of our work and funding actually comes from teaching youth those STEM skills. We just take that STEM with a purpose, right? And try to teach, I'm not going to teach you how to 3D print a Yoda head, but I will teach you how to 3D print a cup holder for your grandma's walker, or a writing aid for someone in your school. So if you're a teacher, or you're interested in learning a bit of like technology and engineering, but want to have that social sort of impact, you should get in touch and we can help organize an event, teach you some of those STEM skills, and make a real impact for people with disabilities in your community.
Chad, thank you so much for taking the time, talking a bit about Makers Making Change with me. We'll definitely have to catch up down the road and kind of highlight some more up-and-coming events as they continue to pop up across the country. But in the meantime, thank you, and have yourself a wonderful day.
Thanks so much, Alex. I look forward to our engineering camp together. Take care. Have a great day.
Perfect. That was Chad Leaman, the Director of Innovation with the Neil Squire Society.
Do you want to dive into more conversations like this? Watch Now with Dave Brown weekdays at 9 a.m. Eastern on AMI-TV, or download the podcasts wherever you listen. Do you want to dive into more conversations like this? Watch Now with Dave Brown weekdays at 9 a.m. Eastern on AMI-TV, or download the podcasts wherever you listen.